You're listening to Information Man. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, this is Information Man. Let me fix my problem. I know what my problem is. I didn't turn down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Information Man. Let me fix my problem. I know what my problem is. I didn't turn down. There it is. That's my problem. My boo-boo, I'm sorry. I actually had the audio on my other page. So that's definitely my bad. That's why the music, everything was kind of muffled. So how's everybody out there? I see we got a few people in the chat room. We got Cap, welcome. We've got, let's see. We got my man, Real Aaron Collins. The True Royal Family's in the house. Hey, you know, I didn't realize that True Royal Family was doing a live stream. I caught a little bit of it. It was some good talk. Real good talk, I have to admit. Everything was right on point. Let me go right into here. I'm going to recover my... How's everybody out there doing? It's Information Man here. Basically, what I want to do tonight is what the title says, Black travel groups every Black woman should join. And there's about 4 travel groups. And what I want to talk about basically around this issue, I'm going to briefly name these particular travel groups. And then I'm going to play an audio for you this evening. We won't be on long, and everything will get right to its right to the point. But I'm going to name these travel groups. I'm going to play an audio where you have a group of Black women who are pretty much taking what you would call a therapy, a vacation therapy away from white folks. And they say it very clearly in the audio that you're going to hear. I thought about playing the visual part, but I just wanted to go with this for now. But they're going to clearly express everything that we as a people so often find ourselves having to talk about. And that is the life here, living in America, when you are a person of African ancestry, Native ancestry, whatever you want to call yourself. We got Black folks that call themselves Moors, and you know, we have our various names, Black, African American, whatever you want to label yourself as. The fact of the matter is, no matter what you label yourself as, or whatever your religion may be, or your political affiliations, the one thing always remains the same in this country we call America, North America, is that racism is not gone. I once had a professor when I was in college. I went to San Francisco State University. And I want to shout out to everybody out there who's watching me. And oh, I forgot to hit my button for my podcasting, but that's okay. I'm just going to use this YouTube program, and I'm just going to port it over by using the audio off of the YouTube. But when I was in college, I took a course called Melanin, a study in Black biology, so to speak, or melanin. And I took a course with a professor who passed away, but he was a great professor at San Francisco State University. We had the first ethnic studies program in the country. We had the first African studies program in the country. And I have a minor degree there. And I took fantastic classes with Wade Nobles, Dr. Wade Nobles, Dr. Oba Tishaka, Dr. Richards. I've had some great experiences. And Dr. Phil McGee, who passed away sometime after I graduated, he had some health issues. He taught us this class about melanin and how it works in our body. And he simply said, it's not about trying to make a statement about who's superior and who's inferior. He said, all you need to do is read the evidence of how our Black bodies function. And then once you do the evidence and you study it, then you can come to your own conclusion as to the reality of those issues around superiority and what have you. But the one thing that I remember he always said that always stuck with me is that, and he always said this, race in America always matters. And if anyone comes up to you and says that race does not matter, that it does not play a role in this society, you should do your best to get the hell away from them. Cut the conversation off, because they're talking in a way that is illogical, because American society was built on race. The very foundation of this society was built on race, which is why Black people, we are not immigrants. We should never put ourselves in the bag as being immigrants. And I know we have the DACA issue going on. We have many, 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 many different issues. And I want to thank everybody in the chat room who came over to join me this evening. I'm in West Coast time. It's about 9 o'clock here in Northern California where I'm at. I want to thank everybody out there in the Facebook chat room, live chat. Thank you. I tried to call my man Lions Den to bring him on tonight, but it's pretty late where he lives in the East Coast and he's probably sleeping. So maybe tomorrow we will do another Black News and Perspective where we'll bring on Lions Den to talk about some issues in the news. So I digress here, but the point I'm trying to make is that this is why we as Black people need a vacation therapy. We need to have retreats. Now, in California, where we live at, I think they still, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, and Queen, True Royal Queen in the chat room, YouTube chat room, you live close to where I live. Remember you had the Black Ski Club, where you had every year Black people coming together to go out to the Sierra, to Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, to go skiing. And it was such a bonding sort of thing. Does that still go on? Does that club, or does that still exist for Black folks here in California in particular when it comes to skiing? I think the more we do things together, the more we have retreats together. I know in the historical Black fraternities and sororities, the Alpha, I'm an Alpha, the Qs, the Omega, the Qs, the Kappas, the Sigmas, the AKs, the Deltas, the Zetas, Iota Phi Theta, all these different groups that make up the Divine Nine. I know that we do our own sort of retreats in our individual alumni chapters and undergrad chapters. And I know that there are groups like Jack and Jill, all these sort of bourgeois type groups. But when we talk about the average Black man and woman, whether you're a part of a fraternity, sorority, church, what have you, whatever your beliefs are, we need to find space for each other. Now, what I wanted to talk about with this situation is that this is particularly tailored. These travel groups are particularly tailored to African-American women, Black women. Okay. And I'm sure there's something for Black men as well. But I think as a Black family, as a melanated, high vibrating family, okay, Black is not only a color, but it's a frequency, baby. Understand where you come from. understand that you come from the universe. And that's why it's important for us to vibrate ourselves into meditation. I think yoga is excellent to participate in. I myself have participated in yoga. It's very spiritual. It very much relaxes you. Meditation. I talked earlier when I was telling everyone that I was going to go on tonight, how important it is to find time that's quiet time for you. For me, it's late at night. Like, for example, I don't have to go to work tomorrow because I'm off on Mondays. I work a 10-hour week, Tuesday through Friday, and I have a Saturday and Sunday, Monday off. So I can, after this live stream, I can stay up another few hour or two, and I'm going to meditate and vibrate. May have a little sweet potato pie. I know that may not be good for me to eat at this time of the night, but I'm going to vibrate and meditate with my sweet potato pie. That's right. And I'm going to think about where I'm at. I'm 48 years old. I remember a time being a Gen Xer when they said that most Black men would not make it to see sometimes their 18th birthday, maybe their 20th birthday. For some of us, that's a big damn deal, right? But here I am at 48 years old. I have a hell of a lot more wisdom than I had when I was 16. I have a hell of a lot more wisdom than I was 20. I have a hell of a lot more wisdom than when I was 30. And I hope that when I'm 50, 60, 70, however God chooses me to live, that I have more wisdom than what I had before. Now, my man, Millie Fuller Jr., who always talks about the construct of white supremacy and how it works and how it operates in this American society we live in, I must say that one of the statements that he always makes when he's being interviewed, when he's asked how he's doing, Millie Fuller Jr. always says, I'm learning. I'm still learning. And I think we as Black folks need to be in that mode of still learning. And that's why I think it's fantastic that you have travel groups for Black folks, in particular Black women. God knows that Black women have been a foundation of the Black community. Okay, especially when men have not been around to do what they need to do to stabilize the Black community. And this following weekend coming up, I want to make a shout out to all the Black men that's in the chat room, particularly in the YouTube chat room. I want all hands on deck. I need all brothers on deck for what I'm going to try to attempt to do is moderate a panel of Black men to talk about why have we, or maybe we have not, gotten away from the James Evans. That's right, James Evans Sr. Whoop your behind with a belt, okay? Whoop your britches, whoop your butt. James Evans type of father mentoring is what we need, okay? When you look at Good Times, and we know JJ was a complete coon and buffoon, but we know that that's one of the reasons why the brother who played James Evans left the show, because he got tired of the buffoonery. But within the show, he was a strong figure as a father, and he pulled no punches. He played no games. And I think that is what has been missing in the Black family today. And in some ways, the millennials have missed out on. Now, this is not to say that people living today didn't have a father in their household, or even millennials. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people listening tonight, or will listen to this the next day, or whenever they are listening now, that grew up with a strong male figure in their life, whether it be their father, a coach, what have you. But I was looking at some clips of James Evans and the Good Times, and it just made me think about, wow, we need to get back to the basics of manhood, the basics of being fathers. And even if you are not a father, you don't have a child, you can participate in mentoring a Black child. I think it's very important. So with that said, let me move into a little bit more about this whole thing about travel groups for Black women. And it should open up one's mind. So let me read a little bit of this to you, if you don't mind me reading this to you, folks. The chat room is nice and nice. It's nice to see everybody in there. August Dream, the real Al Collins. Yeah, True Royal Family, the on Facebook, All Season Ski Club. Oh yes, we need to do all this sort of stuff. I have a background. I'm a recreational therapist, so I've gone through a lot of training. You know what's really good for people to do is ropes courses. Ropes courses build teamwork. It build camaraderie amongst people. I think these are things that Black people need to do to compress ourselves from the racism that we deal with. Take time to get away. Go to nature, because we come from nature. Okay, connect with nature. Our Black behind should be outside. You see white folks outside laying out there, okay, in the sun. The fact of the matter is, we're the ones that's supposed to be laying in the sun to generate our energy in our body and our mind and our pineal gland, open up the third eye, and do. I'm gonna agree with my man Keith Newsom when he talks about sun gazing. Get your Black butts outside when it's sunny outside. Look at the sun. Sun gaze. Let the sun open up that third eye and empower your melanin. Okay, this is why we need this type of therapy. Let me look in the chat when we got my man Cap saying salute me. Thank you, Cap. We've got M. Mitch in the Cap in the room. Thank you. We've got Worst Nightmare. He says, thank you, the True Royal Family, for letting me speak and okay. But yeah, True Royal Family had a fantastic live stream tonight on YouTube. And I got a chance to catch a little bit of it. They were talking about hate, the issue around hate. Very powerful. So let me attempt to read a little bit of this. Okay. Groups that are building and shaping the Black travel movement and changing the narrative about what it means to travel while Black. In the past, Black travelers have been minimized, basically underestimated, undervalued, and marginalized. We often are as Black people when it comes to our travel, okay? And being Black and traveling means you were the minority. You know, you're the one Black, you know, just like you ever eat raisins, folks? When you have a Raisin Bran and you pour the milk and you put the Raisin Bran in the milk, and when you eat the Raisin Bran, and when you get to the end of eating your Raisin Bran, you ever notice in the milk, in that sea of whiteness, you see a couple of raisins. That's how most of us in America have lived, Black people. We have lived in a sea of milk. We are living in a sea of milk, okay? Milkshake, in which we're the only ones. We're the only ones in our classroom. We're the only ones on our job. We're the only ones here. We're the only ones there. We're the only ones everywhere. And those of us who have moved to the suburbs, we're usually the only Black family in that block. Maybe two Black families in that block, right? So these are the realities. We go to movie theaters, we're probably only a few of us, depending on the community that you live in. Now, if you live in Oakland, and by the way, I want to say to the people of Oakland, because True Royal Queen showed a video on Facebook, and I found that video, actually, and I found the brother who has the YouTube page and the Facebook page, and I friend him. The situation in Oakland with the white woman telling Black folks about barbecuing, about how they can't barbecue because of Chaco or something. And I did a YouTube video about it. Go ahead and check it out. She had some problems, folks. She was harassing those folks big time she was there from 11 o'clock. I know that part of the Lake of Oakland. I lived there. And I was very happy to see the Black folks of Oakland have a barbecue and party out there, and we're doing an electric slide, okay, against that supremacy that was coming down, okay? Now, I know that what Black folks have probably decreased at a tune of 25% in Oakland because of people, leaving, moving on to other places. And gentrification is taking place in Oakland, big time. And when white folks come in, they want to tell us what to do. They want to tell us how we're supposed to act. And 9 or 10 times, most of these Black folks that she's talking to, as the brother in the video said, I've been living in Oakland for 42 years. How are you going to tell a Black man that's been living there for 42 years? He went to school there. He's been living there. He got family there. He's going to probably die there. Okay. Tell us what to do. Okay. Tell us how to live. And you saw how she was faking the tears. That's what they do. And we have to, this is what we deal with. This is why we need our vacation therapy. We need the therapy of being amongst each other. And I do mean amongst each other to deal with what we deal with. Now, as I was reading here, it said here, however, in recent years, Black travel has become a strong, thriving movement with thousands of Black people making trips to numerous parts of the world. With appearances of the Black travel movement, we've seen an increase in need for Black-owned travel, okay, startups that give resources, support, and guidance for Black travelers. Here are 4 travel companies, all led and founded by incredible Black women. So these are 4, this is beautiful. This is 4 Black travel agencies or groups created by Black women, for Black women. It's necessary therapy, baby. Let me read the first one. You probably have heard of these. Maybe not, maybe yes. 1, No Madness Travel Tribe. Take that down, folks. No Madness Travel Tribe. That's the first one. This is a travel group specifically tailored to Black women. Let me see what we got in the chat room. True Royal Family puts down Black Sky Club. Oh, she's got the link there. Gosh darn. That's fantastic, Queen. I'm going to have True Royal Family. Can you send that link to my email so that I can check that out further? And we got my man, Real Aaron Collins saying, I visit Seattle last year in March. Fantastic, brother. We got Conscious of Genocide. They know who we are, family. The more they know, they double trip, triple, and quipple down. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Dark Void, how you doing, Dark Void? Welcome to the chat room. So let me read a little bit about No Madness Travel Tribe. No Madness Travel Tribe. No Madness was one of the first, this is deep, folks, one of the first groups that offered representation of the melanated world of travel, okay? Demographics, and more specifically, the Black melanated people. They currently have over, this is powerful. They currently, No Madness Travel Tribe has over 19,000 Black and brown who are collectively responsible for approximately $50 million being contributed into the travel industry every year. So Black folks, think about that. We do have spending power. Now I know Carlette, my sister of Breaking Brown, she talks about how even with Black people having college education, BA degrees, master's degrees, what have you, we don't really have complete wealth because of the fact that, for the most part, our ancestors in this country, for most of us, were slaves. And so they had to catch up. Whereas white people had the ability to have their own businesses and to hand down wealth to every generation after every generation. So they have what you call old money, okay? But it shows that Black people, when we really put our heads and our resources together, we can do powerful things, because this is big time what they're saying here now. $50 million being contributed into the travel industry every year. This is from Black women, Black folks. They also have a website. It's called, this is the website, folks. It's called the No Madness Project, which is a co-executive produced by Yvette Robinson and HBO. And now I know that we've had to talk about Lisa Ray and her nonsense, but apparently Lisa Ray of the of the show, you know, I think she has the HBO show. She's involved with this company. Now we know that she has come out and made some silly statements. I'll be the first to acknowledge that she's made silly statements. She has made some buffoonery of herself recently. It just so happens that she is an investor in this particular travel company for Black women. So I'm just keeping it real because she's on this. But we know that she's made some sister from Insecure, the show Insecure. She's made some pretty silly statements lately, but she's, I guess, partly involved with this company. It says here, the No Madness Project documents the international travel of the tribe group, interviews members living abroad, aims to understand life as a person of color, a melanated person. Okay. No Madness has a Facebook group, which is must join for any Black traveler. So the No Madness Project, you can find them on Facebook. You can join, and they say here that it's a must for you to, you know, become a part of. It's a must. Let me see here. Now, which is the most joined for any Black traveler who wants to see the world? Members can chat about travel and trade tips, arrange international meetups, as well as participate in group trips. So let me go ahead. And now, number two, the number two very popular travel group for Black women is the Travel Noah. Travel Noah, number two, Travel Noah. Travel Noah is a digital publishing platform that creates tools and resources for Black melanated people, travelers. Okay, when a company's founder, Zim, searched for Black travelers, Zim Huchaka, African last name, beautiful, search for Black travelers on Google Images, and all that came up were 6 pages. So basically, originally when you attempt to find something for Black people when it comes to travel, there wasn't much for Black people available, okay, at one point in time, which is what brought about this Travel Noah, Black company, Black owned and operated, coming about, folks. So it says here, Google Images, and all that came up were the 6 pages of Black suitcases. Zuma decided to put an end to Black people's underrepresentation in travel magazines. Yeah, that's true. In travel magazines, you don't see too many Black folks. You know, we don't see a lot of images of ourselves, positive images in this world. It's all, it's all Eurocentric sort of ads. Okay, so she was upset with the fact that there was an underrepresentation in travel magazines, digital advertisements, or in tourist campaigns. Okay, by creating the Travel Noah, she sought to create an online magazine that would focus on underrepresented groups of travelers and provide a place for engaging stories to be told about them. Okay, Travel Noah offers exclusive group trips called Travel Noah Experiences with destinations like Cuba, Bowie, Zimbabwe, Cape Town, South Africa, okay, and other incredible places. They also offer a community course called Compass. This is interesting, Compass, which aims to give members the knowledge and tools necessary to travel the world, along with the live Q&A calls and sessions with skilled experts. According to the Travel Noah, travel is not simply a luxury, it is a priority, and you don't need to be a millionaire to do it. Yeah, and you're just a matter of saving your money, targeting where you want to move to, or where you want to travel to. Let me say that, because some people end up going to places that they travel, and then they end up saying, you know what, I want to live here. Okay. So it's just a matter of scouting these places out, not being afraid. But first of all, you've got to get your passport, Black folks. Every Black person, woman, and child should get a passport. Now, my man, Real Aaron Collins says, let me see, is the capital. Okay, Harare is the capital of Zimbabwe. Oh, wow, brother. Wow. Thank you, brother, Real Aaron Collins. Thank you for what you're saying, brother. So let me move on with this now. It says here, make it a priority. Okay, now that is, and I'm going to name them again. The first one I named was No Madness Travel Tribe. That's number one. Number two was Travel Noah. And now number three is Tasty Makers Africa. Tastemakers Africa. Tastemakers Africa is the third travel group that's specifically tailored for Black women. Let me give you a little bit of taste of what Tastemakers Africa is all about. Tastemakers Africa believes that you don't have to travel to Europe or Asia to have an unforgettable travel experience. The company slogan is to travel Africa, skip Europe, and according to Robinson, the company's founder, Mrs. Robinson, the founder, it's important to visit places like Senegal, Rwanda, Ghana. So this is a sister that's basically saying, forget about going to Europe. Forget about going over there to Europe, looking at people that look like the people that's over here in America that we got to deal with 24/7. Okay, deal with all this hatred and BS. And remember, we can't even barbecue, Black folks. If we try to barbecue, my God, woo, Lord have mercy if we try to barbecue. Okay. Now, Miss Robinson's whole objective here is that, no, forget about Europe. Go to Africa and travel there. Don't be scared. Get away. Let your fears go. Okay. Because a lot of us, we like to run over to places like Europe, and we think that that's the be all, the be all. But you know what? The best land in the world and the most richest soil, fertile soil, and where all the resources come from are from the continent of Africa. And you know, when I did the video, why African Americans are moving to Africa, I've gotten, you know, haters or trolls on there leaving comments about, go back to, yeah, we like y'all to go back. Or I've gotten trolls that will say things like, oh, you know, Africa is a dangerous place or a bad place. Look, everywhere in the world can be dangerous. I can take you to places in the Bay Area that are dangerous. Every place in the world can be dangerous. But this is the thing. If Africa was not a good place to go, why do you think white folks are going over there? And Chinese? Why is it that they keep going over there? Why? Because they're investing. Why? Because they're buying up land. Why? Is because they want to get a foothold in that continent. Okay? They want to control the continent. They've been controlling it ever since, for God knows how long. World War I, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to repeat it again, was fought over who was going to control Africa. You had the Belgians in there. You had the British in there. You had the United States in there. Okay. The French were in there. You've had all these colonial powers, all these colonial occupying type powers trying to take resources from the continent of Africa. So I say, what do I say to Black people? Take your Black butts over there, get to know the place, and invest. Now, I'm going to name it again. The sister on here from the Tastemakers Africa Travel Group is basically saying, once again, okay, according to her, she says it's important to visit places like Senegal, Rwanda, Ghana. Now, Ghana right now is welcoming Black people from America. They're actually offering the ability for you to be a citizen. So you can have dual citizenship here in America and in Ghana. And I'm considering that when I make my first trip abroad in terms of to Africa. Because I do plan to go to Brazil. We do have roots in Brazil. black folks in Brazil are interesting, but I'm going to land my feet first into Ghana. And I'm going to be considering the possibilities of that dual citizenship. But you got to first scout these places out first. You got to make sure that it speaks to you. Make sure that you understand what is the cost involved in traveling. Some people will make excuses and say, oh, it's too expensive to travel. Too expensive. No, it's not. With our American currency that we make in America, we have a very big advantage, black folks, with the ability to travel over there. Okay. Now, you can actually, if you're going to rent a house in these kind of countries like Ghana, they usually want you to pay for either buying a house or renting a house for the whole year. If you plan to travel there back and forth or live there some portions of the year. But go just check it out. I mean, it's just amazing. We're living in an amazing time right now when the coons amongst us are being exposed. We have a racist president who is exercising every step of the racism, executing it every step of the way. And so this is the time, and these are the signs that tell us as black folks that we forevermore need to come together. The incidents like you have in Oakland at the lake with the barbecue situation and the racist white woman, all these are signs that we need to come together, and we need to work together, be together, vibrate together, and start thinking about ways that we can deal with the stress of the environment that we live in called America, the racism. Okay. That means that we may have to think about traveling abroad, getting out of here, having a retreat somewhere to decompress ourselves mentally, to empower ourselves emotionally together as one. Now, let me read on, because this is very interesting stuff here. Now, the company started, let me see this. The company started as an Instagram account. Wow, this is amazing. Wait a minute. I strolled down too far, folks. That was the fourth company. I'm sorry. I strolled down too far, but let me get back on track here. So even though they are not traditional, considered relaxing vacation locations, talking about those African countries, which I disagree. They can be relaxing. It just depends on where you go and do your research before you go. Now, she says locations. Tastemakers Africa aims to shift the global perception about Africa and encourage and increase travel to the continent. The company also uses their mobile app. So therefore, Tastemakers Africa has a app. So folks, if you have your cellular phones, your iPhones, your Droid phones, your tablets, maybe you should check that out. Download their app. We're talking about Tastemakers Africa. Tastemakers Africa. Check them out. They have a app. And they started out as an Instagram page. That's amazing. The sister turned her Instagram page into a travel group now. I think that's fantastic. Now, she wants to change, as I said, she wants to change the projection and image of how we see the continent of Africa. Now, Tastemakers Africa aims to shift the global perception about Africa and encourage and increase travel to the continent. The company also uses a mobile app to encourage and empower people of color to see more of the world, particularly the motherland. That's, you know what? That's really what it's all about. Now, let me stroll to the fourth and last company. Now, this is the one when I was kind of reading and I made a mistake and I strolled down too far. We have Black Girls Travel To. Woo! BGT. And the abbreviation for Black Girls Travel To is BGTT. That's their little marker there. It's called Black Girls Travel To. Fantastic. This is what we need. We need more things like this so that we can have an outlet. Now, says here, according to their Facebook page, so you can find Black Girls Travel To on Facebook. So check them out. Bear with me, folks. I know it's getting late, but bear with me. Now, let me read this. They have a Facebook page. You can find them under the BGTT, Black Girls Travel To. Now, their mission is to inspire and empower women of color to step out of their own backyards to experience the world through travel. The company started as an Instagram account. Wow, this is the second travel group that started as an Instagram account. That's this one and Black Girls Travel To and Tastemakers Africa. Wow, that's interesting how you could take something. That means that we all could do the same thing, folks. If we pulled our resources together, we could do something like this. I know in Los Angeles, California, my fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha, we have a chapter. I think it's Beta Psi Lambda, something like that in Southern California. They have a travel agent. They travel. They take people on travel tours, and these are black men doing this. Okay, so we have the ability when we put our resources together. Now let me finish. So they started out as once again another company that started out as an Instagram account during January of 2015, and we're in 2018. So that means that within less than just a few years, they've really progressed themselves into something more than just an Instagram page. Okay, and so since January of 2015, it has since become a massive movement, which has positively impacted the lives of hundreds of Black women and girls through fostering partnership across the globe and building high-quality customer care teams. The company aims to create travel experiences that are breathtaking, life into Black women, breathing life into Black women, and breaking down the parallels, the stigmas that women of color are uncultured or undeserving of a life filled with travel. Okay, founded by Danny Rivers Mitchell, Black Girls Travel To offers trips to many different parts of the world, and they aim to offer Black women the freedom to cultivate lives of joy and to build unforgettable, life-changing experiences. This is fantastic. Let me open up my boom. I'm back, folks. I'm opening up that here. Boom and boom. So there you have it. Those are 4 travel groups. And I'm going to read this again. 4 Black travel groups that every Black woman should join. And I think you should. I think I'm going to do some research because I'm sure that there are Black travel groups for Black men specifically, or Black families. There should be some out there where you have it's about the Black family in particular. Let me read a few things. Let me make a see if I can. All right, let me see if I can see what's going on in the chat room. I had to take some stuff off my computer. Let's see. Sandra, yeah, I need to read. Okay, everyone's in the chat room. Basically kept everyone covered. People, are you going to have those types of... Okay, so everyone's talking and enjoying themselves in the chat room. I want to thank everybody in the Facebook chat room as well. Now, the next part of the presentation that I want to get to that's very important is the audio that I'm about to play you. This is called Black Women's Therapy. You're going to hear sisters. Let me do a little mic check here for everybody, because you're gonna hear these sisters talk some real talk. So let me check a little bit of mics here. You're listening to Information Man. You're listening to Information Man. You're listening to Information Man.
This is like heaven right now.
Yeah. Alexis Bromley is from Nebraska. She needed a break from white people.
In Omaha, it's very segregated. It can be very isolating if you're a person of color. It's hard in Nebraska because it's a red state. And so you just don't know who you interact with on a daily basis, if they believe that you're lesser, if you're inferior, and how that in turn can affect me.
She says the current political climate has only made these feelings worse. So she decided to go on a women of color healing retreat in Costa Rica.
Hi, such beautiful smiles. Thank you guys so much for coming. My blackness is bold.
My blackness is uninhibited.
My blackness is strength.
The idea is simple. For 10 days, Black women come together to eat vegan food, meditate, and do yoga.
The breath in is the reminder that we are safe.
And to discuss the frustrations of being Black in America.
It's like a mental game all the time. And I'm in these spaces where, constantly getting poked and prodded. Oh, let me touch your hair. Oh, you're really pretty for a Black girl. Black people don't exercise. Black people don't hike. People are automatically gonna have this perception of me before I even open my mouth.
So many people's ideologies are being validated that don't see us as human, that don't see us as people.
This retreat is one of more than a dozen Black-owned travel groups, marketing trips specifically to people who look like Alexis. In the few years that most of these companies have been open, more and more clients are calling them up. At least 5 say they've seen a spike in interest coinciding with Trump's election.
The idea of Black women reclaiming control over their own mind, body, and spirit is exactly what's needed to survive in a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important. We stop taking care of ourselves because we were taught you don't matter.
The retreat is the brainchild of Andrea X, a former Brooklynite turned expat.
I left the United States because I was sick of gentrification, racism, just dealing with being this Black woman trying to figure it out there.
It was 2014, and she just lost her job as a healthcare facilitator. What started off as a vacation in Costa Rica became her entire new life. She used all of her personal savings to form this retreat.
We needed a safe space that was outside in the United States to hold certain conversations and just to heal. I don't think that we can do that in the United States. I think that we're suffering and suffocating and just dying every single day trying to survive there.
Yeah, not every woman can afford to come out to Costa Rica. What can we do for the racism they experience, for women who can't afford to be part of your retreat?
I think that it's important for people in the United States, Black and POC people, to start forming their own spaces there.
Easier said than done. White Americans find themselves in white-only meetings and places all the time, without even trying or noticing. When Black people want a break from feeling like a minority, they often have to make an effort. Alexis made the effort, and it cost her $2,222. But for her and several other women, that's a reasonable price to pay for a retreat that bans white people.
Would having white people on this trip ruin it?
I got my money back. Yeah, I don't think we will be as open and as honest as we are with the group that we're in now.
Yeah.
Do you all feel like you've been stereotyped?
One thing I always got is you're so well spoken, and I don't think people understand how insulting that is. What else would you expect from me?
I'm curious if it's been no different for you since it was the election of President Trump.
For Black, we knew that racism has been around, but it's a bit more in our face now. It's made me have to pivot my interactions with people and people who actually support Trump. I can't trust you on friendship level, family level, any level if you actually are supporting someone that, is completely racist.
Is some of that anxiety what
you feel you need to heal from here?
We're looking for ways to coping mechanisms, and ways to take care of ourselves because we're not on the agenda.
Do you feel like you've increasingly lost the ability to see any shot at a relationship with white people?
Every time I have a conversation with them, I just pick up on certain things that they say, whatever. I pick up on the microaggressions, the passive aggressiveness. I pick up on it. So I decided one day to just eliminate white people from my personal life. And ever since then, my life has been way more breezy.
Do you think it's at all possible that the fact that white races and white people have sort of made you leave the US, start your whole life over somewhere else, feel the need to avoid them, means that they've won?
They didn't push me out the United States. Because if that's the case, they can push me out of any of these countries because they are here. They're everywhere. I feel like white people shouldn't even have passports because they've done enough, especially white Americans. Leave them in the United States. They do not need to come here. They should be even able to travel. They need to stay in the United States.
But to a white person who's doing their best to be the best white person they can be,
I have no tips for a white person. My tip to white people is to let us have our space, let us have our room, and go hang out with other white people. We're okay. You've done enough damage. Lokaha samasta sukino bhavantu.
This retreat, much to Andrea's dismay, is held at a white-owned resort. That doesn't bother the retreat participants. They haven't cut white people out full time. But 20 minutes down the road, Andrea and a business partner have quietly invested nearly $100,000 to build up their own private retreat space.
This is where we'll have the workshops.
Is this just like a long con to start building your own Black nation out in the middle of Costa Rica?
It is.
Starting with yoga. Yeah. Next is going to be like a mini government.
I don't want to have a mini government, but at the same time, it will be a community of just like Black people living here.
What would you say to someone who's like, as nice as this sounds like paradise for Black people, in some ways like it's motivated by the same hate that white people who want to create white nations and white spaces have?
I would say it doesn't have anything to do with them. This is about us healing our community.
Is it practical to create a Black nation in the middle of a jungle? Or to chase all white people off your property? Probably not, and most Black people don't want to do that. But the feelings of isolation that drove Andrea to build her own community aren't that different from what drove Alexis to this retreat in the first place. Andrea has completely given up on the US.
I don't blame her. I have been places outside of the US where I have felt more at home and more included than I have ever in my community.
Is that an upsetting thing? You say it with like this serene face, but to like go visit somewhere that you're not a citizen of and feel more at home than you do in your own country.
Yeah, that's reality. Unfortunately, that's the reality of our country.
Information man.
If anyone would like to have a Q&A with me for a short moment before I end the stream, I did put 2 links in the chat room. Come on in. If you want to talk about anything related to the program tonight around Black people traveling. Now, you heard that powerful piece where the sisters were saying, we need to get away, okay? We need to have a sense of peace for ourselves. This is what we need, Black people. We need our own space. We need our own ability to be able to get away from the nonsense that we deal with every day in our lives. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to play that. I thought that they were being honest. They were being 100% authentic in how they felt. And I kind of thought it would be a nice way to kind of round out how I started the stream. In the beginning, I made a few mistakes in the stream in terms of the sound because I forgot to turn off the audio on both of my on both of my computers. So so the beginning of the program, it was a little rough in the beginning with the sound, but I fixed that problem. Hey, what's going on, Underrated Darkness, and who else do we have aboard with us? So the beginning of the program.
Hello.
Hello. Who do we have in the chat room?
You have Sounds of a Piff in the chat room?
Okay. Make sure if you haven't already.
I muted my sound.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I just want to make sure there's not a lot of feedback. I had that feedback problem when I first started the program, and then I had to fix it. Kind of. But how are you doing? Yeah, I just want to make sure there's not a lot of feedback. I had that. Okay. Someone has to mute their audio. How are you doing? Okay, brother, Underrated Darkness, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, do you have all your stuff muted that's necessary?
Yeah, all my stuff is muted.
Okay. There was a young lady who was in the are you still there? Okay. Anyway, brother, what were your thoughts about some of what I was talking about tonight, or at least maybe the audio that was just...
Well, information, man, I'm not that young. I'm 52 years young. I guess you would call that young. I do sound young.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's always about being young at heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Let me go to you, sister. What were your thoughts about the audio that I played, some of the information I read off about these travel groups, and what are your thoughts about it? Okay.
Well, my thoughts about it is it's definitely something that's needed. I've always been wanting to travel, never really had the money to, and this is great information for somebody like me that's on a budget, that you can go and explore these places and also have a network and a connection.
Okay, cool. What part of the country do you live in?
Information man, I'm sorry, I've been muting out so there's no echo. I live in Henderson, Nevada, which is a suburb of Las Vegas.
From Las Vegas? Okay. Are you African American? What race are you?
I live in Henderson, Nevada, which is a suburb of Las Vegas.
All right. I hope, Underrated, are you there?
I'm here, brother.
All right, let me hear you. Let me hear what you got to say, man.
I think that we should explore different places that deals with our culture. I don't think we got to stop being near-minded. We got to be versatile. I think we got to be more creative. That's who we are, more diverse. You know, that's how our history is. That's our DNA. I think that for a few decades we got away from that. We figured like, okay, we here. And then we had the system teaching us that, okay, whatever happened here, that's how it goes. We have to understand here too that there are some of us as a people around the world don't respect us either, and so we got to have that. But that's another conversation. But get back to the topic. We should explore. We should put our money together. It's not a lot, but I think it's better we travel in groups, but we got to travel with like-minded people that have that same culture mindset. I think that's very important, that we're willing to learn more about our diverse history and stand up in the truth. Like I did a live about a few hours ago, stand up in truth. So it got to start from us to stand up for our truths and at the same time we stand up for, you know, for our culture. Let the culture be part of our life, and part of that is traveling. We have to know about ourselves.
True, brother. I was saying earlier in the video, and out here in the Bay Area.
Information man, you were asking what race that I was. My family is from the Cape Fruit Islands, originally from the coast of West Africa. It was a slave colony.
Oh, okay. I don't want you're kind of cutting out and cutting in, so I don't know what's going on there. So I don't know. Are you there? Because I don't have time for anybody trolling me tonight, because I'm going to cut this live stream off. See, there won't be any trolling. With that said, my man, underrated darkness, you got anything you say? Because I'm about to end this stream. I'm not going to have no trolling tonight. Not on my watch.
Well, all I could say, brother, that, you know, it's an excellent information. And I'm saying we have to, like, you know, let's talk more about traveling. Let's talk more about not just traveling, but travel to learn more about our culture and learn and take it back and just build. Mm-hmm. That's it. No.
Okay, brother. All right, everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining me tonight. Underrated darkness, thank you for coming in.
No doubt.
I don't know who the other young lady is. She keeps fading in and out, which I find very suspicious. Very suspicious. I don't have time for it. I'm the wrong one to play with. And with that said, everybody have a good night. I'll probably be on with my man searching for Uhuru, possibly tomorrow. I got to make contact with him because I don't know if he wants me to go on his show or he wants to come on mine. But we've been contacting each other. This brother has been traveling Africa. He has many guests that come from Africa that come on the program and talk about many issues around the diaspora or the continent of Africa. And he has many guests, people that he has connections with because he's been traveling there extensively. Very dynamic brother. He's been YouTubing a long time. He had a great topic about autism and how we need to get our kids into eating more natural foods. African type foods. They're talking about how there's certain foods that our kids need not to be eating when they're with autism. And my daughter has that, and I'm always looking at her diet and all those sort of things. So you being a brother that's into the food and everything like that, brother, the diet that we're putting in our body is very important.
Yeah, it's very important. Plus,
diet, exercise, all those things.
Yes, and at the same time too, glad you brought that point up because I have a younger brother that is Down syndrome, and so I know. Trust me when I talk about I know the system about Down syndrome, how they treat our kids as Down syndrome, autism. There's a big difference, and even in medical too. So I always emphasize people. I ain't mean to keep with time. I just want to say this information, man, that our people. When you have a child of you have a loved one that is handicapped, don't think that this medical field is going to treat them the same as other nationalities. No, they not. You got to know the loopholes. You have to know the legislation. I know what I'm talking about, and hopefully I'll probably talk about that what I know in the near future. And I don't want to keep up your time. Thanks for making time for me. All this information, man.
Well, stay with me right now for a minute, brother. I want to answer. I think the real Alan Collins brother made mention about Professor Griff. Now, a couple of years ago, when I was doing a lot of stuff I was on Blog Talk Radio, listening to people, and I was a part of this U.S. network thing. I was a listener, and I was a person that was calling in a lot. I had a web page. I created my own web page with using a Ning, you know, those little Ning websites that you can create. And Professor Griff actually was following me on this page, and he wrote me, and I got his email. I still got his email, And I got to see if I can make contact with Professor Griff, because he's a very open brother. I mean, he will tell you right on shows his phone number, okay, where you can literally call him. Okay, now, of course, he's probably got 1,000, he's probably got a lot of people calling him and asking him this and asking him that, but he's very open brother. And so I'm going to try to see if I can get lucky through correspondence to see if I can bring him on to my little YouTube channel, and see if I can get him to come on and talk about some of the fantastic things that he gets into. So I have his email, which is a start, and I'll work it from there. I believe I might still have a number that he uses when people want to book time, book him on their programs and all that kind of stuff. So I'll try to email him and see, because he knows, he may not remember me now, but he knew me then, because he was actually, a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it real with you. He actually emailed me one time. But that was a long time ago. His brother has probably forgotten about me. He's married and everything now. But I'm gonna see if I can get him on here, and get him to bless us with some of his knowledge. Man. Yes, sir. He had some type of relations with her. I don't know if they had a relationship. I mean, you kind of hear those things sometimes, or they were just friends. But apparently, unfortunately, they had some sort of falling out, some sort of rift, which I once again hate to see. Black people having rifts and fallouts with each other. We can't afford to do that. We can't afford it. We need to stick together. Right. We need to work together. But apparently I think he's married to Genuine, I think his ex-wife, he's married to her. So we've been all following the brother since, Public Enemy, when they first hit the scene. Yeah. And I've been watching them on some of the, what's those brothers, Blue Pill and Red Pill back in New York. You got Side Net and that whole crew out there in New York. I love them. Yeah, you got the Red Pill and the Blue Pill. Yeah, that always bring them on their show.
Yeah, I remember that group. I live in New York. People back then on stage in the 80s, they have block parties.
Yes, sir.
Block parties and pubs, and sometimes it'd be some rap groups. They come there and they had the festival, and they be that's when Afrocentric really start coming to the picture. I'm talking about in the 80s, like late 80s going to the 90s. That's when the conscious hip hop really start popping off around the country. So Public Enemy was like part of that, was like talking about, even like the late great Curtis Mayfield was saying, talking about Public Enemy, when he was saying he could tell that they read about a history, because they was living it. And anybody know about Curtis Mayfield? He was a brother that was with the oppression, was a doo-wop group. It was him, the Iceman Jerry Butler, and then that Jerry Butler had left in the early 60s, and he had like an excellent solo career. And Curtis Mayfield went to oppression. Then he went solo in 1970, and he made this to me one of the best solos that I ever say Curtis, and then also he did Curtis did 3 soundtracks. First one is Curtis. The first one is Superfly. The second one is Claudia in '74, and the second one is think of Snake Eyes, something like that. Give me something the way we feel. That's Aretha Franklin. He wrote that and produced that. So
yeah, he wrote. You're right about that. He wrote and produced a lot of products, a lot of great music. It's kind of funny thing you brought up Curtis Mayfield, brother. I actually dated Curtis Mayfield's niece, because his niece lived in Oakland and his brother lives in Oakland, California. So he has a Curtis Mayfield has a brother, and I was dating his brother's his daughter for a moment at one time. His brother is like a scientist. He's like one of these brothers, and this is why Black folks, we need to get into all types of field of application. His brother was like a freaking bug science, man. He would go out. He had this business where he would go out and get these sort of rare species of bugs, and then he would ship these bugs to other people across the country to help them with their agriculture crops. So he knew the type of bugs. He had a business when he retired as a scientist. He had a business called BioCollect, where he would send these. I mean, the man was making money going out and doing things that I did as a child, collecting bugs. Except he would send these bugs, ship them, so that other agriculture farms or whatever would get these bugs to ward off whatever parasites, you know. And he was making money off of playing with bugs, man. He was a biologist or something. So Curtis Mayfield, his brother, you know, told me quite a few things, and but his brother looked just like him. And it was funny because when I dated his daughter, his niece, I didn't know that she was related to him until after I started getting to know the family. And then I looked at the brother, and I was like, damn, he looked just like Curtis Mayfield. The more I think about it, you know, I'm your pusher, I'm your daddy, I'm your mama, I'm your push, I'm your I can't sing, folks.
Yeah, that's Superfly soundtrack back in '72.
Yeah. But look, just to give you a heads up, brother, I'm gonna need you all hands on deck going into this weekend, because I want to get all the brothers on a big panel to discuss where are we at as Black men, as Black fathers, where have we fallen short, where are we doing well, because my whole theme around this is the James Evans theme. When you look at James Evans on Good Times and how he dealt with his family, how he was a no holds barred type of father in his caricature, right? How he told Michael, you ain't being a part of no game, boy. How he was willing to pull that belt out when necessary.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've lost. We need more James Evans.
And I think we need more, father had that stern love for the family, because what impressed me about James, he was the truth. He was not afraid. Like I remember with Michael to come down with his IQ test. And he listened to Michael. And I remember him in Florida went down there, and he listened to Michael, and he stand firm. No, this is the truth. And I think that us as men, we could take a good look at that. I don't care. I think information, man, that I think a lot of brothers ain't gonna want to talk about this. But I would like for us to cue in this coming weekend. We got to talk about status. We got to stop talking about, okay, he don't go to school or she don't go. He don't go to school or he don't do certain days. To the end of the day, when that sister come after you, you still a nigga. And it doesn't make a difference. So we gotta have that strong brotherhood, and we gotta express that. Like, I see you my brother. At the end of the day, I don't care how many degrees. Not like that. You accomplished, and then you see me as a brother. I think that we gotta break that ice, because that caused division within the brotherhood. And then the ones who do not see us in that way, that's when we got coons. That's when we got brothers that bitch was. These brothers, they part of the system. Oh, people, listen to my chat earlier. You'll get what I'm saying. But we got to talk about that, brother. We have to. Because we got to be in one sound. We got to be in one unit. And that's an excellent, yeah, I don't mind about that. It's time, brother. We got to have that strong brotherhood.
Let me just say one more thing before you leave. I don't want you to leave yet. The real Aaron Collins, I need you to hit the connection to coming into the panel, brother. I need to talk to you. I need to have you on all hands on deck this week. So I need you to come in, brother. Hit us with some of your wisdom. Sounds of Epic. I thought you were almost a. I almost thought you were a troll, and the reason why I was a little concerned about that, because when I was with Nicole this past weekend, I felt really bad about what took place when she was doing her program, because some dude came in and we were all skeptical of him, and he turned out to be a troll. And he had a whole crew of people that were making all. It was me, Oyapo, True Royal Family, and it was all kind of weird stuff going on. You know what I mean? They were saying all kind of, they were troll. They were cutting through. So I was a little concerned because when you are a black man or black people trying to do something with your people, the enemy is always trying to mess with you. And we know that to be the truth. So let me see here. Did anybody else come in? Where is the real Aaron Collins? Who's coming in? Anybody in the chat room want to come in? I put a link. If you want to come in and say a few words before we put a crescendo on this, come on in. Oh, you need it emailed to you, Aaron? Oh, okay, that's right. He needs it emailed. Let me see. I hope I still got your email, brother. Let me see how I can do this. Let me see. Bear with me. Underrated Darkness. If you got anything else to say, brother, say whatever's on your mind while I'm in the process of sending brother Collins a link through the email.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think
not disrespectful. I need, just go ahead and say whatever's on your mind, and particularly say what's on your mind as it relates to black people. Like I was saying, taking vacations, having these travel groups, that's therapy for us, brother.
I think that we got to get back to travel. I remember once upon a time, like decades ago, I remember my mother used to tell me, they said they used to have people traveling in different countries and stuff like that. And then I don't know what happened. I think we got settled for the system and we start traveling. And I think that it's good to, like for me, after my birthday, I'm going to I got to go to New York, matter of fact, my hometown, to make sure, get my passport and stuff, get it renewed back to Virginia. So I could travel, start going there. So I got to get that. And I'm going to start like investing, like, go to different places that in our culture. Because I could say that in my lifetime, when I was with the ex in New York, we've been to different places. So I've been to Bahamas and I see the oppression, you know what I'm saying? And also I was in a cruise. I went to also Rios. I even see the oppression. So for me, it's sometimes like we can see stuff like that. Sometimes it's not fun. It's not fun when you see your people, they sell great stuff. They sell culture stuff, and sometimes a hut be sometimes in the mud, and then at the same time it be on the ground, and you see like our people and other nationalities, they laughing. And I remember one time, I'm gonna say this little story before we get the real Aaron Collins. It was one time I was with the ex, and we went to St. Thomas because our mother's side of the family is really from St. Thomas, so we was on a cruise. So I went to see him and everything, and I'm gonna show you how some of our people are so colonialized, brainwashed.
Yes.
And the brother came to me like a machete, like, yeah, hope you treat my cousin wrong. I said, let me explain something to you. I had a gun point in my head. I had a gun point in my nose. So what you gonna do with the machete? I said, be a real man, put the machete down. I know there's a park right there. We could shoot a fair one. And may the best man wins. But it hits me, brother, that how so colonial these people is. I looked, and I never forget. I left, and then we went to this certain place, and then all of a sudden, it was actually brothers like you know, I don't know what's going on. They don't, you know, I said, you heard of Black Panthers? You know, we talking about Oakland. No, we never heard Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
You mean you never heard of Black Panthers? They didn't even heard of the NAACP. But it goes to show that sometimes when we travel, we find out certain things was going on and stuff. And it's, you know, most of these countries, they're under the British European rule. They're under these Indian rules. They under any country that oppress melanin people. It's still happening right now.
Yes.
And we have to understand, and we have to understand it too. So when they come here, they figure that, oh yeah, I'm, you know, free. No, you're not free. Okay, let's get one thing straight. You're not free. And so you know, the travel these countries, yeah, it's beautiful, know the culture, but you know, a lot of them they just surviving. You know what I'm saying? And you want to help them, but you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, well, we got the real Aaron Collins in the house with us, brother. How you feeling?
All right.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm holding up, my brother. Google Hangouts was acting shady earlier. I think I might have got a theory about it. But anyway, I'm here with you, man. What's happening, darkness?
There's something shady going on. I'm feeling it. My melanin is picking it up.
Something's going on. You know how it is. I'm going to cut you off. Whatever, brothers or sisters, when we build.
See, look, now we can't even hear him. Now his sound is off.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Underrated Darkness. You was about to say something, brother.
No, I was saying that it seems like wherever us as melanin people that we building and we telling our truth, things always happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just a few minutes ago, when you started talking, all of a sudden you weren't talking anymore, and it seemed like you had disappeared. See, there's a lot of funny business going on. I can sense
it is.
I'm reading it. It's all over. I can feel the melanin takes in negative and positive energy. I can feel the negative energy, not from you guys, but I can feel the negative energy of the enemy trying to stop what we're doing. Brother
basically,
Collins,
our melanin is basically our spidey sense.
Exactly. Brother Collins, with the time we have before they try to infiltrate us, I need you this week. I was talking to Cap. And his Cap is, I should have Cap in here. Is he? Oh, that's right. He's at the, he said he can't do a lot of talking where he's at right now. So I'll just, what I want to do, brother, is get you overheard me. I want to get a panel of you brothers on, and I just want to narrate it. And I just want to, have we gotten away from the use James Evans as the metaphor? Have we gotten away from the James Evans type fathers, the ones that will discipline you, the ones that will teach you manhood and put that belt on your ass if necessary?
Oh, I know what you mean. And you know what? It does seem that way because, see, I grew up with a James Evans household fathers. So, yeah, I know what you mean, Info Man. It does seem like we gotten away from that because, I mean, it was just something about that type of black man in the house that kept you in line. Like you said, it wouldn't spare the, he would put it on your ass if you needed it. I mean, if you got out of line.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the type of man. And, you know, at Hollywood and everything and hip hop, they didn't pacify black men to the point. I mean, I never thought the day in my life I was seeing brothers wearing skinny jeans and wearing, hell, they wearing dresses now. I mean, thinking that shit is fly. There's nothing fly about that.
Is when I've gone to the store, you know, to buy a pair of pants, a few times to buy jeans, and I try, and I'm going in there to get jeans that have more of a relaxed fit. You remember how they had the boot fit or the relaxed fit, a little bit more baggier, a little bit more roomier. And this is how they do social engineering, and they're pushing this moistness on us, is that when you go to buy clothes, you can't find any clothes that fit you like a man anymore. All the clothes are fitting you like, you know, like you you know, got something sweet in your tank. And what I'm noticing, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, study the fashion industry. Most of the people who run the fashion industry are, a lot of them sometimes are gay. I'm being modest in my statement here. A lot of times the people that's running this fashion industry, they are themselves gay. And so they're projecting what they like to wear on their bodies into the clothes that they put into the world that they're selling and marketing to us to wear. It's a lot of time it's gay men designing these clothes.
That's real talk, though. That's real talk.
So remember that show, Gay Eye for Straight Man? Remember that show that used to come on TV? Where you had the gay
I think it was called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The queer eye for the straight guy is still happening. It's happening in fashion. They're designing our clothes. And then when me and you go to the store, we can't find clothes that fit us like a man. Everything is designed for that sweetness, baby. And I ain't talking about Walter Payton.
I can tell you one time, like, my birthday's coming up June 4th. I went to like purchase, I want to get a leisure suit. You know what I'm saying? With a nice leisure suit. So I got work early, check it out. So they showed me, I said, listen, excuse me. Back, all right? I'm not with that fun. I did. I'm not with that fun shit. All right? I'm a grown ass man.
You know what? This is a whole new show. We doing right now.
Us brothers, we got to. I'm not no fun shit, yo. I'm a grown ass fucking man. So you know, do you got anything that's baggy? Because I always like things baggy, even like because I was raised at Jehovah's Witness, so we went through this stuff. So my father always like, yo, wear some baggy. He'll never like nothing hugged up. Always, you know, I always like things baggy. So I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, well, we got this. Listen, I don't do purple and pink. Do I look like a purple pink to you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They trying to force this on you. So that means that we have to tell it as it is. You know what I'm saying, the real Americans.
I got you.
They intruling.
Yeah, well, that's part of the social engineering to get you to a point where we as men will go into stores and we will have no choice to buy what they're selling us because there's nothing else for us to wear.
Yeah, and I purposely, when I wear t-shirts, I purposely wear extra large. I mean, I'm a small dude, but I purposely wear something extra large.
Okay. I think
I walked out. I sure did. I said, he said, you never try. Let me explain something to you. What you talking to me, you're violating me. Now you lucky I didn't go and take you in the back and work your ass over. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk myself out of here. I'm gonna say woo-ha, and then after that, I'm gonna get on the bus and go home. But how dare you? And the sad thing about it, of these stores around of this USA is in our neighborhood. That's the sad thing about it.
But listen though, underrated darkness, you made the key point, brother. We got to stick with that key point that you made. You said that they're violating you. That's the point. They want you to wear these clothes to project that type of lifestyle because they want to have straight men accept the lifestyle. Therefore, through violating you emotionally, and you will be violated emotionally through the clothes that you wear. Because remember, what is the motto about this? If you look good, you feel good. What they always say, clothes make the man, or the man makes the clothes. Well, if they got you wearing these moist type clothing, then you are projecting that that's what makes you the man, and you feel that way as a man.
Yep. Hey, Darkness Info Man, remember what happened a few months with Genuine when the trans person tried to force himself on him and he rejected his advances, and they came after Genuine for that. I mean, even when we reject their requests, and you know what, I got friends and stuff that, you know, that's trans and gay and all that. I got friends like that, but I was making known, listen, your lifestyle is your lifestyle, but I mean, just don't force it off on me. I'm not gonna go out there and disrespect you, but I mean, when he tried to hug him and all that, and he pushed him out, the whole community wanted to come after him.
Yeah,
that wasn't right.
Yeah, but
well, see, this is all this stuff that's going on, gentlemen, gets back to the basis of my program tonight, which was we deal with so much as Black people in this society that we need to come together and have retreats. We need to have think tanks. What I look at when I see all you guys on a panel, all you brothers, I don't want to say guys, all you brothers talking the way you do, I see it as these are Black think tanks, brother. We're Black intellectual. We're thinking. We're trying to figure our way through these issues. Life is about solving problems. And so this is why Black folks need to take vacations and retreats and get away and do Black ski clubs and Black camping clubs and Black fishing. Hey, Underrated Darkness, you turned me on to that brother. What's that brother who's got the restaurant? I was watching him fishing.
Which one you talking about?
I think, wasn't it you that turned me on to him? There's a brother on YouTube that I subscribe to. I think he's like, I think he's got his own like restaurant or something. I think he's out there in the South somewhere. And I was watching his YouTube channel. Maybe it was somebody. I was watching his YouTube channel, and he was, he was fishing. He was catching catfish and stuff, right? And it was a beautiful thing to see a Black man fishing, relaxing. It was a beautiful, beautiful scenery because he had his cameras, he had it live streaming. And I said, look at this brother. This brother sitting up here fishing, enjoying himself, stress-free. That's the kind of shit we need as Black people. We need things that bring our stress levels down, things that bring us together with nature, bring us together with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We need some Black people that's into nature and all that stuff, A lot of people think, because all the stuff that I hear people talk about, oh, you trying to be white, that's white stuff. First of all, we taught them a lot of stuff that they know today. Because remember, this is the same group of people that invented an IQ test just to prove their intelligence. Now, since what Black think tanks or Black people that we know in history that had an IQ test? I don't remember George Washington Carver or Benjamin Banneker need an IQ test to do what they did. I mean, what's that? Charles Drew, isn't he the one who did the first successful heart surgery? I don't think he needed an IQ test.
Ooh, brother, you talking some real talk right now.
Yeah.
You talking some real talk.
But that's how they do. It's like this. You know what I mean? We can look at sports, agriculture, anything. Whatever we do, and we perfected it, they always change the rules. Just like clothing, you talking about information, man, my brother. That's an excellent point. They change, whatever we do, they change the rules. I'm like, and then, but see, it's gotta be us as brothers too. We gotta call this shit out, man. Listen, man, I ain't no fun, you know what I mean? I ain't no fag boy, you know what I'm saying? I was born being straight, you know what I'm saying? I was born to help, produce for our family, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with that, But see, you got some brothers and even sisters out here, they got friends, they got family, and they think it's okay. Nah, it ain't okay. I don't want to be around you. You a fun boy. You like it from the back. I don't like that shit.
Okay. But you know what? I look at it like this. I'm not an advocate of it. People are going to do what they're going to do. I don't spend a lot of time trying to see how I can change anybody. What I have to do is focus on what I need to do. I'm not in the battle of trying to change people's their sexual lifestyle. But as a straight male, I have to be honest and say that something is happening where being a masculine male is becoming either it's becoming extinct or we are under siege, because when you are a straight male, projecting that with all this feminism that's going on in American society now, you are the bad guy. Now,
Yep, they sure are. Matter of fact, who was that said a few months ago that straight men are the new white people or black people? Someone said that. It was, I think, a magazine article or something like that.
no, it was in the Root, and I think that sister, and I'm not a big fan of her anymore. Jamil, the one from ESPN, she co-signed that article. It was in the
Yeah, she sure did.
Black men are the new enemies of black women, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? This is why that's a lie, brother. This is why that's a lie, because black men are not the enemy of black women. Matter of fact, you know who gives black women more trouble and bring black women down more than anybody, right? Anybody does.
Amber Phillips and Crystal and Carrison.
Other black women tear each other down. I can't tell you how many females I have talked to who have told me, when I say, oh, how many friends do you have? They'll say, oh, I don't have many female friends. I have one or two, maybe, right? Because you have women in general, and then you'll have black women generally, I'm generalizing here, who will hate on one another. So you have other women doing more damage to other women more than men could ever do. Now, you do have incidents in which men have battered women, domestic type dispute. Yes, that happens. But overall, you've got a lot of women who be hating on one another. And black women, the last thing that black women need is to be fighting each other, just as we as men don't need to be bickering and fighting each other, whether it be in the streets, and we damn sure don't need to be bickering and fighting each other on this YouTube. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth that.
Yeah. So you're right about that. Matter of fact, when the fact that we're talking about that, it just brings back memories of looking at the movie Pulp Fiction with Ving Rhames. I mean, that brother right there. I mean, a big brother like him being brought down like that by a skinny, recessive, anorexic-looking white boy. Are you serious?
Well, remember what Hollywood does to black men. The first thing they want to do, which is why I'm glad that Denzel Washington has never allowed himself to be reduced in this way, is when you get in Hollywood, one of the biggest known facts is that when it comes to black entertainers, you at some point in time in their career, you've got to get them in a dress and high heels and a skirt. Let's look at you can go all the way back to Flip Wilson. He made it popularized when he was doing it on his little show, dressing in drag. Then they had, I think, Wesley Snipes. Oh my God, the great Wesley Snipes. He even played in a movie where he was in drag. Then I think even Ben Raines did a movie where he was in drag. He was playing a gay male who was trying to get to France.
A Holiday Heart, I think that was the name of it.
Yeah. So and then you got Kevin Hart. They have put him in a dress. Let's see, what's the other comedian? Jamie Foxx. They put him in a dress.
Yeah,
okay? Who else? There's been many. They tend to like to put black
brothers
actors in dress, huh?
The Wayne brothers.
Yeah, Wayne brothers. But they like to put us in these dresses. That right there is a clearer message of what they're trying to do to our masculinity. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something that blew my that had an impact on me as a child. Back in the late 70s when I was a kid, I was a little kid. Okay, I was like 7, 8, 6 years old, something like that. My mom used to take me down to the St. Francis Theater. True Royal Family, she's still in the chat room. She's probably remember this, the St. Francis Theater in San Francisco. And I remember when I watched the Superfly. And remember, there was a scene in Superfly where Ron O'Neal was in the bathtub with his woman, right? And they were making love to each other with the bubbles, and he cuffed his hand around that nice round brown behind. And what that did to me as a child is because you don't see black love. And when he was being affectionate with her in the tub, it wasn't raunchy. It was very masculine, but at the same time, it was very romantic in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And we don't see the romanticness, whether it be in television or movies, with black men with black women. They never show us in a romantic. They try to make our love making animalistic. And I remember just in that bathroom scene, that bathtub scene, I just thought that it was very powerful because they never really show black men masculine in that way in their love making with their woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're quick to put, they'll be quick to put black men on television and movies and give them a boyfriend, you know, a boyfriend.
Yep.
So, but look like, brother, you know what? My God, looks like we didn't this is a whole damn show, a whole new show topic we're doing. We're gonna have to bottle this up for another show or something, because there's a hell of a lot more we could say. But I think
go ahead. Like you said, man, when you got so much knowledge and stuff going through, I mean, it's hard to let it go.
Yeah. But you know what we can do, brother, this week, let's try to get the panel together, get the brothers together on here, and make it do what we make it do. And we can cover all these different issues, brother, you know, fatherhood, relationships, things of that nature.
Right on.
I don't know where you guys are in your life, but I find myself in my life right now, more than what I did when I was much younger. I don't really have, I mean, I know it's very important, don't get me wrong, but I don't really put a lot of stake right now when it comes to women as it relates to sex. I'm not really focused on sex with women, man. I'm just more focused on meeting a decent woman and developing something beautiful. And sex will come if it comes. You know, I'm not spending a lot of time thinking with the little head. I'm thinking with the big head, my brain. And so I know as I've gotten older, you know, you want an attractive woman. You want to be romantic with the right woman. But I don't focus so much on that. And that's what the younger brothers are going to have to learn. They're so driven by what's between their legs that and then they make these mistakes and get with the wrong type of women. I just don't focus so much on, yes, I like sex with women, but I'm not so focused on it as much, man. It's not like the major thought in my mind every day. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's where I'm at right now.
I feel you on that, man. I mean, because some of these dudes, all they talk about is smashing. I'm like, damn, is there anything else you could talk about other than smashing? And then they want to look at you, oh man, something wrong with you, you know. Or if you do have feelings for a woman, if you really start getting really falling for a woman, then they want to call you a simp, you know.
Well,
you know, I think for me it's this, that I made up a hashtag. I think it's called us as brothers. We had to learn to advocate for myself. You know, me and Information Man, we do talk about it at times. I know Aaron Cons, you hear it too. But I made this hashtag really for our people, but especially brothers. It's hashtag positive is inner self-worth. Let me repeat it again. Hashtag positive is inner self-worth. And we got to understand that we are worthy. So when you're worthy, you make better choices within yourself. So you expect you expect better expectations from that certain black woman. So I live, I'm single. See, I live alone, you know what I'm saying? So but for me, it's like, it's all about JT. I got to take care of I got to take care of myself first. Bottom line. When you do that, blessings come, you know?
It's true. I mean, it's just that where I'm at right now is that when it comes to women and I meet a young lady or a young woman, I look at it from a point of view is, where's her mind at? Where's her spirit at, right? And if her mind's right, her spirit is right, then I always look at one thing that a lot of brothers mess up on. How is she thinking? What does she read? Does the woman spend more time looking at soap operas and finger popping, or is she
Reading Zane novels.
Is she into, and you know, Zane novel, you know, Zane is cool at times, but I'm saying, is she into learning about stuff that's educational? Can you learn from her? You know, where is she at in those areas, man? Because when you invest your time with women who just have all looks but no brains, what's going to happen is that eventually, as you get older and they get older, what do you have left when the physical part goes, man? So I just think that brothers in general and young brothers have to make their choices a little bit more intelligently, because this is why these athletes get caught up, because these athletes go to clubs, they meet these big booty women in these clubs, they get caught up in the physical stature of the woman. And I ain't gonna lie, I like a good built woman, you know, come on now, we're all men, we all have needs, but I'm saying that these guys get in those clubs, they get attracted to these kind of women, and then they get to whining and dining these women, and then all of a sudden they have unprotected sex, get them pregnant, and sometimes women will trick you and try to make you impregnate them by playing around with your, your personal sperm, right? And next thing you know, they get these women pregnant, and you see it, you hear it all the time. A brother comes into a barbershop and he says, man, I didn't know she was crazy. I didn't know she was crazy, man. Well, you know why you didn't know? Because you were so focused on the physical. And by the time the baby pops out and she's giving you a lot of hell, now you're saying, damn, this woman's crazy.
Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but sex is actually a spiritual thing and it's a mental thing. Because when you enter a person, sex, you are actually taking on that person's mentality as well. So think about it. You sleep with all these different women or men, and you just got all kinds of people inside of you.
Oh my God, you're so right about that. You're so right.
You don't understand, right? And this one I understand, because when you have sex with a person, it's not all about you no more. It's about that other person. Do you have the conscience enough to understand how they feel? That they had to open themselves to you. And it goes for a man or woman. See, to me, it's all about this. Some of us, we still have this juvenile mindset. We know for right or wrong, but see, instead of planning for the future, we accept that moment. But sometimes that moment right there give us heartaches.
Yep.
And it be too late, because you got to deal with that. Well, it ain't the fault of the child, but you got to deal with him or her for 18 years, and it slows you down for your growth. It slows you for whatever you want to do, and then you become that bitter person. And then when that bitter person comes in, it reflects the family, it reflects our community, and it reflects our nation, us as melanin people. And then that vicious cycle keep on continuing.
You're absolutely right. Everybody in the chat room, give B Fabulous some love and subscribe to her channel. Subscribe to Nicole's channel. Subscribe to my man Real Aaron Collins channel. Subscribe to Underrated Darkness channel. Definitely subscribe to each other. Definitely check out Oyapo. I wish Oyapo was listening tonight. Maybe he's listening, but he's just not in the chat room. Who knows? I will probably give a video announcement in the morning whether I will be doing a stream with Search for Uhuru, whether I'm on his platform or he comes on to mine. I'll probably let everybody know about that. Brothers, with the sake of time, I know folks are probably tired. You guys are all over in different time zones. And I know folks probably need to get their behinds in the bed or laying on it somewhere. I'm going to end the stream, and what we're going to do, brothers, is if you all would be willing, we're going to get everybody together. Cap says he's going to be back home going into the weekend. We're going to get an all-star crew of you guys on the panel, and we're going to have real brother talk, and we're going to try to cover it. And I pray to the powers of Ogun, which is if you know the history of Haiti, when they fought off the French, the Haitians, they prayed to the warrior spirit of Ogun. I think Tariq Nasheed talked about it in his 1804 documentary, the spirit of Ogun, who was a warrior, their spiritual warrior in Haiti to fight off the Europeans. So I hope that the spirit of Ogun is with us next week, that we can get everybody on here and we don't have to worry about no trolls and people infiltrating us. And what I probably should do to prevent the infiltration is I probably should just send the link to everybody's email. So now that we don't have no what I would call undesirables amongst us.
Yeah.
To all the sisters and the ladies out there listening, this is going to be a men's only panel. No disrespect to any of you queens out there. We just sometimes black men, we need to get together and really talk amongst ourselves. Just like sisters, y'all need to have your time to have a all sister panel. Talk about issues that relates to what you deal with.
Right.
Right.
So I'm hoping that what I'm going to do, a lot of y'all, I got y'all emails. So I'm going to try to see what other folks I can get their emails, maybe send the link to the email instead to cut down on as much of these infiltrators as possible. Because when you put a link in the chat room, it opens the door for all type of imposters to come in. Sometimes. How y'all feel about that?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We definitely need to talk about. We definitely need to do that. Show that black men can talk about stuff other than the game and other than who they slept with. You see something because you see something like that. A bunch of black men doing something like that, talking about something constructive. That's really when they're going to take notice, because they don't want us to talk about stuff like that. They want us to be at each other's throats. They want us to be talking about, oh, what's up, whole ass nigga, and all that stuff. They want us to be talking like that.
Oh, if check this out. If we were on here, and I've seen it on YouTube before, if we were on here cussing at each other, calling each other's all kind of N-words, I bet you any kind of money would YouTube block the channel. What YouTube did, what they did to True Royal Family when we did that stream the other day, if we was on here cussing at each other, no, they would not.
Yep.
I give you a perfect example. I was listening to a program. Y'all probably heard of this brother. He calls himself Sinful the Pimp. I was listening to his program one night, and some dude that supports Tommy the Coon called into his show because he was doing a show about these coons and what have you. And one of these coons called in defending Tommy. And I happened to call in his show and was talking to this brother. And he got to putting this brother in his place and saying, you sound like a little girl. You caking and pushing for your boy Tommy the Coon. And so guess what YouTube did when they were arguing back and forth about that? YouTube ended up snatching the video from him, right? Right? So the video was snatched away, right? But guess what they ended up doing? They end up giving the brother back his video so that it can continue to be played. So they took the video from him, and then somebody told me that, oh, the video, YouTube resubmitted him the ability to get the video back. So that's a perfect example that they rather us be arguing with each other because Sinful the Pimp was sort of, putting this dude in his place. And it kind of turned into a little bit of an argument. But what's profound is that YouTube took it away from him, took it down. Then I guess maybe he appealed or whatever, and they gave it back to him. And the last thing and the more I think about it is they gave it back to him, and the material had an incident in which there was arguing going on. So that tells me clearly that they don't mind us arguing with each other and will give us the damn video back. Now, I'm telling y'all.
So Sinful the Pimp, is he someone that, well, is he someone, I guess his name's probably will storm me out, but is he okay cat?
Yeah, basically what he does, he's got a big following. What he does is he's a cat that has lived the lifestyle out there in them streets. One of the reasons why he's very popular because he's lived a legitimate lifestyle out there in those streets. A lot of people relate to him. He knows a lot of people in the streets that have lived that lifestyle, and he kind of talks. He kind of is kind of like how can I say he's kind of a cat that kind of gives up the 411 on the game, you know.
Right. Okay. Somebody who give Tariq a run for his money.
Oh yeah. And guess what? He did a video. So this is a brother who's lived the street life. He's lived the pimping life, all that kind of stuff. He tries to give game to the young cats out there, and telling them not to get caught up in this and that, right? You know, you may love them and may not. You may not like them, and you may not. But guess what happened? He did a video where he said, when you had all this arguing going on within the conscious community, you know, you had young Pharaoh, all this stuff going on, you know. He did a video in which he said that the conscious community acts just like, he's a pretty smart cat. He says the conscious community acts just like the preachers, the pimp preachers in the church, that they're no different than the preachers in church who be selling you on the blue-eyed, blonde-eyed, because he says that they're arguing with each other in a very feminine way. They're acting very feminine, like. They're not acting manly like. And guess what happened? Sa-Netta of Sa-Netta TV sent him a message and told him, brother, you're right. We was wrong for acting the way we was acting and talking the way we talk. Sa-Netta did a damn show about it. Okay. Then for the pimp called it out, and they said that he was right in his analysis of the behavior within the conscious community as it relates to the bickering and arguing with each other back and forth. So every now and then I tune in, hear what this brother is talking about. I have to admit, he be putting down some real game, but it's from a sort of a street type of, it's that street philosophy, right? Sort of thing. But my point in bringing it up is the fact that he got a video brought back to him by YouTube, for the most part, was taken down because of the argument he had with another black man who was cooning. And to me, it shows that YouTube doesn't mind when we argue with each other. They will give us the video back to continue playing it. But if we're talking completely intelligently in terms of not arguing with each other, and they don't like what they're hearing, they will take our video from us. And then you know what I found out? I did that video with that sister Diane, and it took about 2 or 3 days for the whole damn video to fully download itself to completion, right? I was listening to somebody else's show, and they're saying that YouTube plays this game with you. So when we're talking real talk, they don't let that video fully develop itself out. You might have to wait for a couple of days for it to fully put itself fully out. It's crazy. This tech game is crazy, man. It's crazy. This YouTube game is crazy, man.
And you know, especially in these churches, you know, these pastors, most of them they searching for these single black women.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know they corrupt them. I'm talking about some, they corrupt them. And some of them they become from good marriages. Maybe the brother, you know, he's serving God in his own way, but he taking care what's going on in the house. But he see what the church is, and he's standing straight from that. And then they talk about, oh, you not yoked, or you not this and that. But you know, after the server, after you know the message is gone, taking her and bend her back over and beat her up. And then after that, she end up getting pregnant, because I seen what happened. Then she ended up getting pregnant. Then come to find out he's hurt. Then he's married, the pastor married. But you know, she gonna stick with her man because you know such and such. And everything what happened The whole family unit is broken up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because this happened to my best friend.
Okay.
Okay, that I grew up in New York. He was in North Carolina. You know, his wife, ex-wife, she's the ex now. And you know, he said, "Look, you know, let's go." I said, because he liked this church that talks about Africa. He said, "Listen, let's move in this city. We talk about Africa. We can talk about spirituality. We can deal with Africa and stuff like that." But she did not want to. And he said, "All right." Kind of find out they was messing with each other for like 4 years. Now, at that time, they was going on being married for like 15 years. They had grown kids at that time because they had kids when they was younger. And
Yes.
then
Fucking with me.
it was a young girl, and come to find out she had MS. And as they check it out, you know what both family did they? So both family had an MS. He said, I didn't have no MS on the front of. So it triggered back to him because now the pastor was getting everybody pregnant in that town, and come to find out, he heard it from one of the members of his church at his job.
Okay.
Wow. He said you need to get checked. Come to find out, my friend, he's okay. Then she didn't have the baby MS. And only I can say this much is, listen, I'm gonna leave you the house. And then he ended up help raising the kids. Like I said, they about grown. And until this day, he's still hurt over it. He said, I'm not getting married. I don't want to get married. I got screwed. And the church screwed me.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not like isolating stories that happen to us as black men. This been happening a whole lot. And to us as black men, we got to get a grip to that. And some of these sisters, you need to talk about this because these pastors is playing you. You have to understand that they don't love you.
Yeah, I just think the bottom line is, I believe that in a lot of ways, organized religion currently now has failed Black people. And the reason why it has failed Black people is because humans have ruined religion. When you look at religion in its, I don't want to get too deep into a religious conversation, but when you look at religion on its purest sense, there are some positive aspects in a belief in something. The problem is that men, since I'm using men because men traditionally have been the head of the church in terms of being the preacher or being the pastor, men have basically ruined religion in terms of the fact that they have ruined people's beliefs because they manipulate what's in these books of these religious texts are being manipulated. You know, you had the Jim Jones. I know that very closely because I know a family that lost everybody in that Jim Jones incident. They were being led by a white guy, a white boy. All right, led them to their death. So
David Koresh.
These people are being led by men who have taken the Bible or take whatever, Quran or take whatever.
Marshall Applewhite too.
They
Remember Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, Heaven's Gate. They thought they were going to another planet. You know, this kind of nonsense. They think they're going somewhere. No. They're not going anywhere because the only people on this planet that are intergalactic, and I'll say that again, intergalactic is Black people. We're the only ones that are built for an intergalactic lifestyle. We can go into space. Our bones will not be impacted by being in space. The Europeans, if they try to go into space, their bones are affected by it. They just can't, for whatever reasons, they're not able to adapt to space travel because they're not intergalactic because they were not created by the universe. We were. This is why Black people, I'm going to take it right back to my topic. We need to meditate, pray, do yoga, exercise, eat well, take your spirulina, take your right supplements, take your B17 vitamins, whether it be an apricot seed. You can get B17 vitamin by eating apple seeds. You can get it in, I think, cranberries. take advantage of these sort of alternative forms of health. Get away from all this processed foods. When we all eat it at one point or another, get away from your fast foods if you can. Stay away from it. And you know what I was going to bring up to you guys? They say that the number one thing when you go out to restaurants to eat, I was going to do a show about this. I might still do it. The number one thing that you should not order when you go to restaurants, one of them that causes you to get sick or come down with something like neurovirus or something, is ordering solid. Stay away from ordering when you go out to restaurants and they say, do you want a soup or do you want a salad? No, go with the soup. Don't go with the salad. They said that they've done studies to show that a lot of people get sick when they're dealing with eating stuff like salads. And then when you start messing around with certain seafoods like clams, or what's the other one? What's the one when they eat the oysters? Yeah. When you start messing around with that type of raw type of seafood, you put yourself at a heavy risk in these restaurants. You don't know. Those are one or two of the things, and there's others that have the highest risk of you getting sick. But in general, it's probably best for you to eat your food at home because you really don't know what the hell they're doing in the kitchen. They did a study in San Francisco one year where they had restaurant inspectors go around, and they found roaches and all type of inappropriate things, not in 1-star restaurants, not in 2-star restaurants or 3-star, in 5-star restaurants. Okay? Top-notch restaurants. And if I'm not mistaken, in some places of Europe, when you go into restaurants, you walk into the kitchen to get to your dining area. In some places in Europe, they have it where you can actually walk through the kitchen to see what the hell is going on. I know I'm all off topic right now, brothers. And they're telling us in the chat room we need to get us some damn sleep. So if you got brother Collins, you got any last words?
You know, I'm really looking forward to all the brothers doing this together, because we definitely need to get together and talk about some things, because our community is in shambles, and white supremacy is really on its last leg. That's why they are going haywire on trying to just distract us and to irritate us. I mean, calling the police on people barbecuing that's not even bothering you, that's just going overboard. I mean, I'm hearing stories of people being called the police on for going into their own apartments and stuff. You know, we got to get on code quick, family. We really do.
You're so right.
Get on code and get unified, get strategized, and just you get to loving each other again. And loving each other is not hating them. I know this is the thing that really gets on my nerves. Anytime when we talk about doing for ourselves and doing for one another, they want to call hate speech and say we being racist. Anytime when something doesn't include them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at the point where I could care less what they think now. The time is now, and we gotta be on code.
Let me before we end, Lion's Den, come on into the chat and say just a few words, brother. I'm going to send you an invite. Let me see. I can send him an invite very quickly because he's already in my system, in my Google contacts. Let me send him in and say a few words before we put a crescendo on tonight. So he should be coming in just a minute. Come on in. I see you in the chat room, brother. I tried to call you tonight to have you on here with me, but you were probably sleeping. And I know it's very late back there where you are. I just want him to come in and say a few words, and then we're going to end it.
Yeah.
Underrated Darkness, man. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great, man. It's always a pleasure to be on the panel. Yo, go ahead, Lion's Den, man. My brother.
Really good, brother. Lion's Den, have you had a chance to hear any of the stuff that we've been talking about, brother?
I just came in this morning, and I would like to say what's good to the panel, man. I'm sorry if I would have known you doing a live stream info.
What's going on, brother Lion's Den? Welcome, my brother. Glad to see you again, man.
Oh, thank you.
Good, guys.
Lion's Den, what I did is I did a thing about black travel groups for black women specifically.
Okay.
and I read off a couple of companies that were basically, a lot of them were created from the Instagram. They were created by Black women. So I talked a little bit about that. And then I played this audio about Black people's therapy. And there was these Black women that traveled to a retreat, and they were talking about how their whole goal was to get away from white people. Because these were Black women that primarily lived in places like Nebraska, places that are not very, I hate the word diverse, but, for the sake of it, they weren't diverse. So I played a little bit of that, and then the brothers came on, Underrated Darkness and the real Aaron Collins, and we just got to talking about, how the media and the fashion industry is trying to make us very moist and trying to get us into these tight little skinny jeans. And next thing you know, they'll probably be messing around with our boxers and make the boxers skinny jean boxers.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
There'll be a time. I mean, hell, I don't think we're too far from it. Brothers, the time may come when you go to the damn store and you won't be able to find no damn boxers no more. They're gonna put your asses back in briefs, and they're gonna put you in the tightest briefs that they can produce. But Lions Den. So that's what's going on, brother. I was telling the brothers that this coming week, I would like to see us put an all-star panel of brothers on to talk about just a brother powwow about issues around being a Black male, issues around the James Evans father type of mentality that we need to get back to. Okay. James Evans, put that wood on your behind. So I'm going to try to reach out to Brother Research. I was on his panel the other night. I'm going to see if I can get him. I'm going to try to see if I can get a few people. We're going to definitely get Cap on here. We're going to get Underrated Darkness. The real Aaron Collins is going to be on this panel. You, Lions Den. Who else? Yapo, I want him on the panel. And there's somebody else. And then whatever other brothers that I can make contact with. And I'm just going to moderate it or whatever, however it works. We're going to make this beautiful. Oh, get my man KD84 on. And we're going to try to make this... we're going to make it do what it do. Maybe I can get Low Cast on or Bitter Truth. I'm going to try to call in some favors with some of these brothers and see if, I'm going to get Superfly 75 on.
Okay.
Maybe I can get, I'm going to try to get him on. Maybe Discourse if I can find him. I'm going to get Superfly, got to get him on. And maybe I can get, if I'm lucky, LAR Movement, if I'm lucky. Maybe I can even get my man Search for Huru since I may have an opportunity to do something with him tomorrow. So it's probably going to be a hell of a lot of people on here, but I'm going to make it where everybody is going to get a chance to talk. I'm not going to do it where people talking over each other. Nobody gets a chance to speak upon. I'm going to make sure everybody gets to say what they need to say and let it just flow back and forth like a beautiful instrument. So that's the goal, brother. I'm going to try to see if we can make it happen. Today is Monday, so we got a lot of time to make contact with people, get people's attention. I also have a couple that I want to bring on and do a stream with that's talking about love and relationships. They actually have a radio show or a podcasting show where they talk about love and relationships, Black love and relationships. So I want to interview them too. So it's so many things to do, Black people. It's so many issues to talk about. There's so many people to connect with and to network with, and so much to do, but so little time. So with that said, Lions Den, I'm going to end it. I want to thank all you brothers for being on. The real Aaron Collins, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Underrated Darkness, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Let me give a shout out to Marlowe's Corner, the boxing show. I don't know if they're listening to us tonight. They've been giving me a lot of love and us a lot of love. Marlowe's Corner, people, check their sports show out. If you like boxing, check out Marlowe's Corner's Boxing. If you like real damn talk and information around organic food and making good food, good cooking, definitely listen to Underrated Darkness. He also has a sports program as well. And the real Aaron Collins, you have a YouTube channel, right, brother? What's your content about?
talk about black empowerment, dismantling white supremacy. Yeah, I'll talk about a few other things, but my platform is mainly about black empowerment.
Okay. Everybody that's in the chat room and everybody listening that will be hearing this tomorrow, afternoon, day, wherever you are in the world, subscribe to the Real Aaron Collins YouTube channel. Lions Den, I know you have a YouTube channel. You pretty heavily into the Eagles sports talk. Let everybody know about your handle.
Yeah, y'all can check me out. Go to my YouTube channel. It's gonna be Lions Den. I'm morally talking about Eagles football and other political stuff as well. So y'all check me out.
Yeah, check out Lions Den. Subscribe to him as well. Folks, it's been nice. Lions Den, if you got it in you, brother, maybe we should do tomorrow a live stream, maybe somewhere around 4 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock your time, around what's going on in the news.
Got you. I'm on it.
We'll have you do your weekly news report. I'm sorry about the last stream. Lions Den, this is what I'm gonna do, brother. The one that we did last week, I was a little upset because the audio didn't come through. I got to figure out how to make the audio work when we do these streams. But what I'm going to do each week, I'm going to end up deleting that video because what I want to do is make weekly videos that talk about the weekly news, right?
Okay.
And so every time we do it, it'll last for the whole week going into the next week, and then I delete it and then produce the next one. And that's going to be our black perspective in news, issues. So are you ready for that, brother? Do you got material ready for that?
I'm gonna focus on that later on this afternoon. Focus on the news, but more than likely it'll be ready before we get on the air. Definitely.
All right, so everybody, you're gonna get your Lions Den report. Sometime we're gonna go on like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So it ain't gonna be no late like we doing now. It's gonna be a time of the day that's gonna be appropriate for all of you. So Lions Den, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out tomorrow, brother. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor.
I did a live earlier, and it's 2 specials that I'm on there. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Just join it. And also, I talk about the attitudes about our people. I want y'all to check it out, share it and everything. Very much appreciate it. Y'all gonna see the 2 specials.
Okay.
And break it down. But I want y'all to check that live out. Very much appreciate it.
I will be checking. Let me know. Is this what I need to know? Are you doing a live tomorrow during the day? Because see what I'm trying to do. This is my fantasy, brother. You know how you have a television, you know how we have TV, right? And you have different channels, right? Like we have different YouTube channels, right? And you've got a schedule of programming in that whole day, right? It would be nice, and I'm just fantasizing. It would be so cool if we had some kind of way of creating a live stream schedule. So you can say, boom, at this time, Underrated Darkness goes on. At this time, the Real Aaron Collins goes. I know I'm being out there, but it would be so cool if there was a way to create this sort of schedule week to week when everybody goes on. I know it probably would be difficult because everybody's their own woman and man, of course, everybody's doing their own thing, but it would be sweet if we could try something like that where we have like everybody, we have a collab and we say at this time, Underrated Darkness is gonna come on at this time. Then True Royal Queen gonna have her program at this time. Of course, you gotta have some time limits. You can't be on for 4 and 5 hours, but it would be really cool to have some type of programming system like that. It would really be cool. It would really be interesting. But anyway, I'm just my little dream there. But I want to thank you, brothers, for being on.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you, brothers. Lions Den, I'll give you a call. We'll talk. And everybody, thank you. Check out those travel groups. Okay, let me check out those travel groups that I talked about and get involved. And because we need to be able to get away, to travel, to have space for ourselves, Black people. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Thank you, everybody out there in Facebook that's watching me. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everybody in Facebook that's watching at Information Man Show. Information Man Show. Subscribe. Tell other people about it. Share. And I'll see all you brothers. I'll be looking at you brothers' streams tomorrow. And everybody in the chat room, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, brothers. You're listening to Information Man. You're listening to Information Man. You're listening to Information Man.